Hello, American Heritage School community. Mr. Beckwith here for this week's installment of AHS Together. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us on these school-wide videos as they've been periodically released over the last few months. Sometimes they've been light and playful, and other times more logistical. The tone of today's video and the feelings in my heart as I share the following information with you is one best described in Doctrine and Covenants, section 78. Quote, knowing that we cannot bear all things now, but remaining in good cheer, trusting that the Lord will lead us along, close quote. Let's start with some positive news, and then we'll talk about the heavier news pertaining to our announcement today that some of our employees will not be returning. It is important for us all to understand clearly the reasons behind that announcement. Last week, on June 1st, as most of you know, was the deadline for fall re-enrollment. We communicated to you previously that our expectation for the fall is that we will open on campus and on time with as normal a routine at school as we could possibly have. Of course, we'll be ready for various scenarios related to resurgence of COVID-19 or potential requirements by the health department. But our intention is to do everything in our power to be an island of safety, inspiration, and normalcy in what could be a sea of confusion in the education world this coming fall. All of that remains true, and we remain cautiously confident about our current vision and preparations for the fall. Your feedback has been overwhelmingly positive and supportive, for which we thank you. We are also pleased to report that based upon family deposits made last week, our total enrollment for the upcoming fall appears to be approximately 810 students in grades K through 12, which is 92% of last year's peak enrollment. How can a decline in enrollment be good news? Well, it's good news because of how much worse it could have been. For many private schools around the country, their declines in enrollment are so significant that they are being forced to consider closure. Our situation is strong in comparison, and it continues to strengthen. Without accepting a penny of government funding, and we did not accept any PPP funding or other CARES Act money for private schools, we remain out of debt and in a solid position to carry on the important faith-oriented education that we offer. And we are doing it as independently of the government as we can appropriately be. This is all thanks to many factors that are part of our firm foundation, to borrow the title from the hymn. We have a generous and mission-oriented school community, first of all. That's you, who give so selflessly through service, scholarships, and financial aid. We are nimble, second of all, and we have created a unique part-time offering that is allowing many families to stay connected to the school at reduced tuition prices. We also have a worldwide online program that allows families to study with us anytime, any place, and at any pace. And there are many families continuing to apply to the school, so our admissions pipeline looks strong. But 8% decline in enrollment and tuition revenue is not insignificant, and it requires us to make some very hard choices about staffing with our current 175 employees. Those hard choices, which have been the result of months of counseling with each other, culminated in the following decisions announced to employees and the school community today. Specifically, 13 total terminations equivalent to 10.5 full-time positions, 6 total reductions from full-time to part-time status, 6 departures of employees whose positions we chose not to fill with new hires, but rather with lateral assignments of other employees already at the school, and 5 reassignments from our core campus to American Heritage Worldwide, which is experiencing unprecedented growth in the wake of COVID-19 impacts around the world. All of this adds up to 30 total people impacted. These decisions cut across all departments, including administration, faculty, and support staff. You can see the full list in the email circulated today. We want to assure the school community, including current employees, that we do not foresee further layoffs this year. Barring extremely unlikely and unforeseen circumstances, our expectation is that we are taking care of this difficult work once, now, all at the same time. We care for our people even as we bid them goodbye for a season. I'm saying for a season because we hope that many of them might be back in time. You are our people. You are like family to us. You have been with us for years and in some cases decades. This isn't a proper goodbye for people who have been with us for so long, and we know that. We are planning a more appropriate goodbye later this summer, and we invite everyone in the school community to begin sharing well wishes for these employees by sending them to our school comment box in the school-wide email. To parents and students, we want you to know that we are not discontinuing programs and electives unless they are undersubscribed in the fall. And at this point, we anticipate carrying most, if not all, of the classes that you love and want. We are not just maintaining our programs either. We are improving them. I won't go into those school improvements today. You'll hear more about that later. Just know that we haven't come this far only to come this far. And we are confident that you will love what you feel and experience this fall. We know there's no perfect decision here. You might feel that we should have let someone else go, and those feelings are natural. We love these people too, and many of our own children have had them as teachers, administrators, and staff. Thank you, AHS community. It is not a little ironic that the name of this broadcast is AHS Together. It may not feel that way in this moment, but it is true. We will always be together because we are bound by a common mission. I'll just close with an excerpt from a book called The Second Mountain, which I would recommend to all. The second mountain is a metaphor for the mountain we see above us after we have summited the first mountain, which we thought was our life's objective, only to find that we are taken into a valley of suffering where we begin our ascent of the second, more significant mountain, which is our real mission mountain in life. It's the valley of suffering that I'd like to read to you about here. The right thing to do when you are in moments of suffering is to stand erect in the suffering. Wait. See what it has to teach you. Understand that your suffering is a task that, if handled correctly, with the help of others, will lead to enlargement, not diminishment. The valley is where we shed the old self so the new self can emerge. There are no shortcuts. There's just the same eternal three-step process that the poets have described from time eternal. From suffering to wisdom to service. Dying to the old self, cleansing in the emptiness, resurrection in the new. From the agony of the valley to the purgation in the desert, to the insight on the second mountaintop. Thank you, AHS families. We love you. We'll see you around the campus.